Sorry, students, we're just trying to get sorted. I'm Julietta Bose, and I'm going to be starting the class this week. And I do have Suzanne and Mike here in case I have problems. We're going to see if I can do this. So next week I'll be solo. Okay, so the first question, got to find where the camera is. There's the camera. No, we're not going to see this. Just a second.
Oh, we got some feedback. Yeah.
Okay, she took the phone away, but part of it is we wanted to see us. So Mike, please help me.
Yeah.
How do I get my picture on the screen?
Oh, you want to get bigger?
First, I'm going to get Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. I'm Julietta Bose. I'm trying to work this, and it's my first time because Mike and Suzanne are trying to teach us, so we're going to have a little bit of trouble. And I'm going to step out for a sec and see if I can help Suzanne with my phone. Okay, I'll be right with you.
I still haven't found enough of the picture. Oh, that's sweet.
That was from
Meeting in progress. There, okay. Oh, good. Now I can. Okay. Well, I wanted to be able to see everything. Can you hear me, Aurora?
Yes.
Just turn my phone off.
But how do you turn it on? It's different than our phone.
Oh, here. Oh, this is cool.
Sorry.
Take it away.
okay, it's done.
Okay, I apologize.
Shutting down.
Now, Aurora, please.
I can hear you.
War, what is
Yes.
it? So right now, the wars generally can be battles against different countries or internal countries or within the country. And today's lesson is about Abraham Lincoln and the Civil War. So the next thing is, what is a civil war? And that is what, generally it's a war within a country for a lot of different reasons why they have the war. Sometimes it's, let's see, I have my little notes here. Those are the causes of the Civil War and the religion. There are many places where they have the different religions. A lot of times in the Middle East, we see that a lot between the Jewish people and the Muslim types. Then it could be economy. It's that people have money, some people don't have money. And that's that they battle for that privileges or just try to make things even. Then politics or the leaders. You may have two different leaders that you want or way of thinking. I know that was with my mom when she was a little girl during the Spanish Civil War. And then also it could be the land or border disputes. Like different people want different places, like the North Korea and the South Korea had their border disputes and their fights. So if you want to go to your first page for exercises, is we're talking about Abraham Lincoln. If I can do this right. So Abraham Lincoln was our 16th president. Now, the next part to this exercise is a word bank. So first off, we're going to just practice saying the different words. So the first number, it's a date. And the way we say the dates lots of times is 1865. So can you say that again? 1865.
1865.
Good, I'm working. Another date here is 1809.
1809.
We don't say 1809, we say 1809. The next word is leader.
Leader.
The next one is president.
President.
Next one is slaves.
Slaves.
Then 1861.
1861.
Can you see those numbers clearly?
Yes. Well, I have my papers by my
Yeah.
side.
Okay, I'm just trying to guide you. Next word is Abe.
Abe.
February.
February.
Civil.
Civil.
Okay, that's it. Now what we're going to do for the next section is we're going to take a word from up here and fill in the sentences below. So the first one, they did an example, and it says, Abraham Lincoln was an important leader in the U.S. history. And you see how they filled in the last letters for leader from the word bank up here?
Mhm.
Okay, so now for the next sentence, we're going to have his birthday is February 12th, 1809. Okay, let's repeat that. His birthday is
It's
February.
February 12, 1809.
Now I'm going to do something so I don't have to look over all the time and read from my other sheet as I show the answers. Okay, so the next one we have from up top is every February we remember Lincoln on President's Day.
Every February 12, we remember Lincoln on President's Day.
Now I'm on the third sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no 12th in there. It's just February. You don't have to put the 12th in there. Now, this is one of those key questions that you know because it's President's Day is one of our national holidays we need to remember for one of your questions. Now, the next one that we said is his nickname is Abe Lincoln. His nickname
was Abe Lincoln.
Okay, now the next one is it one sentence? Abe Lincoln was our 16th president. He was president during the Civil War. I read that in 2 sentences. So repeat after me. Abe Lincoln.
Abe Lincoln
Was our 16th president.
was our 16th president.
Okay, so you fill in the AB with an E because that's one of the words from up top on your paper. It's part of the exercise there. And then the next sentence is he was president during the Civil War.
He was president during the Civil War.
There. The Civil War was from 1861 to 1865.
The Civil War was from 1861 to 1865.
And then the last sentence that we practice here is He is famous for freeing the slaves.
He is famous for freeing the slavery.
The slaves.
Slavery.
Now, the slavery was one of those important problems that led to the American Civil War. So what you have here on your picture, here's a picture of Abe Lincoln. And if you walk around, well, you're in Texas, I forgot. But if you're in Gettysburg, we have lots of statues of Abe Lincoln here.
I know.
Okay, and that's right, you visited here. And here was a picture of Abe Lincoln on the battlefield of Antietam. And you can see the very tall person in the picture, that was Abe Lincoln. So he was visiting the soldiers at Antietam, which is one of our more deadly battles. I think, is that the one that they called it when? To red, the water turned red?
Yeah,
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 okay.
it was the bloodiest. one
The
day.
bloodiest battle. Okay, so the next page. And they have, I don't know if you got it in your pictures, but in the packet, sometimes you download, this is a picture of the house that the slaves would live in, but it was just a simple frame building, nothing inside. They were lucky if they even had a piece of cloth for a bed, maybe a little fireplace. So we didn't treat the slaves very well. This is a picture. They used to auction the slaves. So this sign here says auction and Negro sales. So lots of times back when they had the slaves, they would put them in front or put them like on a box, and they would auction off the different slaves to the different owners that wanted to do that. Because they didn't treat them as humans, they were just treating them as a piece of property. And this is a picture of just a homeowner, a slave owner, and all the slaves that he had there, just how they were. They had some clothing, but generally that was all they had. Sometimes at Christmas, they may get a change of clothing, but not much. So literally they had just whatever the clothes on their back. Now, this is a little exercise that they ask us to do. Mike usually would write it on the board, but I'm practicing since I'm by myself. So they have this question as to back then. The question is, we'll have these questions, and then we'll talk whether it's slaves or free people. So the first one, can slaves make money? Would that be a yes or a no?
Nope.
That's correct. They really didn't have many rights. But free people, can free people make money? Yes.
They receive only food.
Maybe if they were
For
lucky.
example. Mhm.
I think some of them even just lived off whatever little gardens they have. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, can slaves travel? Yes or no?
Nope.
That's correct. But what about free people?
They can go wherever they want.
Yeah. Can a slave own a house?
No.
No, that they just lived in whatever the owners provided them. Although some of them were lucky and lived in the master's houses, but they didn't own anything. But what about the free people? Could they own a house? Yes. And then the last one is, can slaves attend school?
Nope.
No, but the free people could. So yes, you can see they didn't have a lot of rights or could do very much. Now we have another one of those word bank things. We'll go through the words again. Let me flip to my page. Whoops. Okay. Okay, so for the word bank, the first word is family. Repeat. Family.
Family.
Okay. I'm going across. The next word is lawyer.
Lawyer.
The next word is student.
Student.
The next word is politics.
Politics.
And the next word is lived.
Lived.
Your English is wonderful.
A
Now,
little bit.
now we're on the next line. 1861,
1861.
1809,
1809.
February 12th.
February 12th.
That's okay.
Sorry.
I always, doesn't matter.
It's
I
a
always
little complicated.
February too. The next word is Kentucky.
Kentucky.
And the last word is Indiana.
Indiana.
Okay. So now we're going to say the first sentence. So Abe Lincoln was born in Kentucky in 1806.
It's 1809.
Oh, 1809. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Just going back and forth is driving me crazy. So perfect. Okay. I just fill in the blanks. His birthday was on February 12th.
His birthday was on February 12th, 1809.
That's the full date. But the way they did it, you'd have to put the 1809 over here. Okay. Lincoln's father was very poor.
Lincoln's father was very poor.
Yeah. So I didn't go down that. Actually, it's not father, it was family. I messed up again. Okay. They lived in a log cabin in the country.
They lived in a log cabin in the country. Cabin in the country.
Yes. They moved to Indiana and Illinois to live.
They moved in Indiana and Illinois to live.
The next one is Lincoln was a serious student.
Lincoln was a serious student.
There, we would hear stories that he would study his books by the fire in the cabins that they lived in his different homes. Okay. He studied to be a lawyer.
He studied to be a lawyer.
Okay. Later, he became interested in politics.
Later, he became interested in politics.
And then he became president in 1861.
He became president in 1861.
So to do the exercise, if you have a chance, is we have to take these words from up here and put them in for the sentence. And that's to help you practice the spelling and doing those words. Now, there are a couple of pictures here that are just of interest and maybe could help you remember. The first one's a picture of his wife, Mary Todd Lincoln. And she I think kind of pushed him into politics because even back then she understood everything that was going on and helped him become president. This picture here, this is the state of Kentucky. And where the star is the town that Lincoln was born. And here, just like where we have, you see people with campaign buttons, this was a campaign button for President Lincoln when he was running for president. So things haven't changed in the 150 plus years since then. And this is the picture of the log cabin that Lincoln lived in when he was a boy. I'll practice here. Okay. Next, we're going to be talking about the Lincoln's death. If I can actually flip the page. Well, they have a lot of word banks in this exercise. So let's start with the first one. First sentence, which is I'll get there. President Lincoln's death. President Lincoln's death.
President Lincoln's death.
Okay. Now, an important word to know is assassinated.
Important word, assassinated. Can you repeat it as assassinated?
Assassinated.
Okay.
Okay. Now, that is when a famous person is killed, we say assassinated.
When a famous person is killed, we say assassinated.
So it's not just simple murder or homicide, it's assassinated, because most people, when they do that, is they want to stop that person or that leader from continuing to do things. So here are some examples. Okay. President Lincoln was assassinated in 1865.
President Lincoln was assassinated in 1865.
President Kennedy was assassinated in 1963.
President Kennedy was assassinated in 1963.
Were you living in the States then, or?
It's a farm.
Yeah, you were, okay. I was just a little baby back then, but I remember my mother telling me about it.
We were in high school.
Okay. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in 1968.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in 1968.
Yeah. And then the next question here is, name anyone else that you know that was assassinated.
Well, I know that the people is famous, and she was a singer. Selena, do you remember Selena was assassinated? I didn't remember the date, but she was.
Yes, so that's kind of example.
It's not politics.
No, but it's still.
It was really important.
Generally, I mean, they did that with John Lennon. John Lennon was assassinated too.
Mm-hmm.
Another example that we have, and I think I have a picture of, was Robert Kennedy was also assassinated when he was running for president. Okay. Now we're back to the word bank again. Exercise. So the first word is 56.
56.
Okay, and the next word is 6.
6.
Okay. So the next sentence we have was, Lincoln was president when the Civil War ended.
Lincoln was president when the Civil War ended.
Okay. 6 days after the Civil War, Lincoln was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth.
6 days after the Civil War, Lincoln was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah, and see the picture over here? That was where Lincoln was sitting, where John Wilkes Booth shot him. And the picture above is the theater from the outside. And if you can go to Washington, you can see both of those places. I think once everything opens up. Okay. Okay. So Lincoln was 56 years old when he died.
Lincoln was 56 years old when he died.
His death was very difficult for the country.
His death was very difficult for the country.
So, and then here you see the picture of the funeral, all the people that showed up as part of the parade, those that were part of the parade and those that watched the parade as it happened. That was a very difficult time. You just finished the war, and what was this country going to do to take care of itself? Okay. And just along the lines, I don't know if you get that, but this is a picture of Robert Kennedy before he was assassinated. Get my little paper. Yeah, this is just a reading paper for you to practice the words. So we'll just go down the line. I'm not gonna. So this is a the top line says the Lincoln Memorial, a special place.
The Lincoln Memorial, a special place.
So here we have a picture of it. I don't know when you've come east if you had a chance to see it, but it's very impressive. It's a beautiful place. So all these things that you study, maybe someday you can do a trip just to see what we're talking about. And here's a picture of the statue, which is like in the middle of the Lincoln Memorial. I mean, it's huge. Well, I'm short, so everything's huge, but it's big.
It's great.
Okay, so let's start practicing the sentences. The Lincoln Memorial honors our 16th president.
The Lincoln Memorial honors our 16th president.
The memorial is in Washington, D.C.
The memorial is in Washington, D.C.
The memorial was built in the early 1900s.
The memorial was built in the earlier 19th.
We
Can
say
you repeat the last one?
Yeah. The memorial was built in the early 1900s.
The memorial was built in the earlier 1900s.
Very good. There is a giant statue of Lincoln inside.
There is a giant statue of Lincoln inside.
Many people come to the Lincoln Memorial every day.
Many people come to the Lincoln Memorial every day.
I think even now, because it's open, you can keep your social distance there. Other things that they do to honor Lincoln is the penny. These are the older pennies, and then they have a picture of the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Now they have that shield on the newer pennies. I'm pretty sure.
I don't look at my pennies at all.
Haven't used them that much. So there's the penny, Lincoln on the front, the Lincoln Memorial back there. And here's a picture of the Lincoln Memorial during construction.
And also Lincoln's pictures on the $5 bill.
That's true. That's right. Again, I'm doing everything credit card. I'm not seeing too much cash anymore. Okay. And then this next page is also with information, just more for you to practice talking and saying the words. So the first sentence is, the Lincoln Memorial is a famous place.
The Lincoln Memorial is a famous place.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. There we go.
Okay, there.
I'm just trying to get this as the first time round. Okay. Many people have come here for celebrations, speeches, and protests.
Many people come here for celebrations, speeches, and protests.
Yes. So here's a picture. Martin Luther King had given a very famous, oh, it actually doesn't say if that's I Have a Dream speech. That's what it was, yeah. I just wanted to make sure I didn't say the wrong thing again. So this top picture was in when Martin Luther King Jr. did his famous I Have a Dream speech. And that was all the people were there. And a fun little thing we were visiting friends. I was a little girl then, but we were visiting friends. And my mom told us that they were so afraid of all the people. They left to go back to New Jersey early because they were concerned that something bad would happen. But nothing bad happened.
Same for us that live in Clearwater.
Yeah, but since my mom lived through the Spanish Civil War, she was a little concerned
Yeah, they told us not to go.
about.
Oh.
So she was a little concerned, but that was one of those peaceful protests that we had, that we're allowed to do as one of our Bill of Rights. Here is, what's her name? Marian Anderson singing at the Lincoln Memorial. And then we have Colin Powell, who was also giving a speech at naturalization ceremony. And that was back on April 12th, 2009, in honor of the bicentennial of the memorial. Oops, there we go. So a lot of things happened there besides just tourists looking at a statue. Okay. Next one, I'm going to read out the instructions. So we have first is the Abraham Lincoln crossword. Oops, let me flip the page so I can read it better. I'm going to need one of those typing things. Okay. So what we're going to do is look at the pictures. Let's just practice the words. Look at the pictures. And then I'm going to write the words under the pictures and then write the word in the puzzle. So this first picture, I'm going to do it sideways. Do I have a word bank? No, I don't have a word bank. So the first thing here is a picture of Abraham Lincoln with his son, and that would describe a family. Okay. The next picture is Lincoln. I think that's the Antietam picture that we talked about earlier. And the words that describe that is a Civil War leader. And then the last one is just the full name, President Abraham Lincoln. And the last one's real easy because it has the answer up top, February. And so now what they want you to do is to take these words and fill in the crossword puzzle. So going across the top, that would be leader. I didn't fill this in, but I'll let you do the work. Mm-hmm. The next one down is Abraham. I'm going down that way. This one going down here, that would be father. This one going down here would be Civil War. This other one going down, that would be Lincoln. And I think the only one left is the top one for president. Were you able to fill them? Okay, good.
I did.
Now here's the next part. We're just going to say the words and I'll let you practice because we don't need to record you just writing the words plenty of times. But again, this exercise for writing the words is because sometimes they'll make you do a sentence and you do need to know how to spell the different ones. So the top one is just Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln.
Okay. And then the sentence down here was, oops, these going this way. Abraham Lincoln was our 16th president.
Abraham Lincoln was our 16th president.
And here, just for interest, is a picture of Lincoln in front of the US Capitol when he was first inaugurated. No, it wasn't, notice it wasn't complete. And then I read an interesting history book that, you know, he shook so many hands after the inauguration. The men wore the gloves also. He had white gloves. But one of the trinkets that he gave one of the people that worked for him, he gave her the glove to hold. And it was black from so many people shaking his hand. Maybe gloves will come back in fashion this year too.
Mhm.
Okay, I think we have another page of writing. So knowing the months and how to spell it, so just you'll be practicing writing the word February.
It's hard for me.
Trust me, it's hard for me. I always have to look it up.
Yes.
It shouldn't be that hard, but it just, is it U-A-A-U? But this is the right spelling, and just need to practice that. And then the last sentence we have is, we remember Lincoln in February.
We remember Lincoln in February.
Very good. So we'll let you do those, fill those in on your own time instead of just having a blank record on that. So how did this work for you with me trying to do the hold up and everything else? Were you able? Was it okay?
Yeah.
That's about best I can do. All righty. I think I missed this on this one, but our new questions. I have to pick her up. Our new questions are, what group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves?
African?
African, perfect. What was one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did?
Freeing the slaves?
Yes.
Very good.
Name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s.
The Civil War?
That's correct. We had a couple of other wars, but that's what we had for that. And you only need to name one. Okay. Name one problem that led to the Civil War.
The religion?
No, it was more, the argument was slavery.
Uh-huh.
Pictures. I have to look sideways. Slavery,
Mm-hmm.
economic reasons, and state rights. But it always goes back to slavery, because the economic reasons was they couldn't afford not to have the slaves to grow the cotton in the South. And the state rights was because the states wanted the right to keep slavery. So if you just remember slavery, this all leads to that.
Yes, I answered the question, and I said the religion because at the beginning of the lesson, you named some reasons for the Civil
Yeah.
War. It was
That's
the religion at the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was for other countries, but our civil
Yeah.
war was slavery.
Yeah. I know.
And I'm sorry that I confused you. Okay.
No, that's okay. I was confused.
No, I have that. So now we're going to go back to the previous questions. Again, it takes a while to remember them, and usually by the end of the class, you'll be doing very well. So the first one is, what is an amendment?
Change.
It's yeah,
Change.
but it's a change to the Constitution. But they do allow just a change.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So here the answer is a change, and then they add to the Constitution. Or an addition, but again, that still means a change. What do we call the first 10 amendments of the Constitution?
Bill of Rights.
Very good. I'm trying to read backwards. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment?
Religion.
Yep, that's good. That's very good. The other ones are speech, assembly,
Mhm.
press, and petition the government. But you only need to name one. How many amendments does the Constitution have?
27.
Very good. What is freedom of religion?
Everybody can practice any religion or no religion.
That's good. Very good. You've been studying, haven't you?
I'm trying to read a little bit.
Okay.
There were-
Okay, there are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. What's that word? Describe one amendment or one of the changes.
The women, they
Yeah,
can vote.
women can vote. That's very good.
And also the people 18 years or
Yep.
older.
So we
Yeah.
have, so it's citizens 18 years or older.
Mhm.
You don't have to pay. Any citizen, any U.S. citizen can vote, and any male citizen of any race. So after the Civil War, the black men were allowed to vote. Okay. Name one right only for United States citizens.
The vote.
Yep, that's it. The other one is the ability to run for a federal office. So you don't have to be a
Can you
citizen.
repeat it?
Okay, so that it's the right to vote and then to run for a federal office.
Can you explain a little bit that?
Okay, so for example, you don't have to be a U.S. citizen to run for, let's say, the School Board of Education. So if you're very active in the, you don't have to be a citizen to be a School Board of Education. But if you want to run as your U.S. Senator, your U.S. House of Representative, President or Vice President, you have to be a U.S. citizen. And then for the President and Vice President, they have a couple other rules for it. But if you live in somewhere else and there's something, you're not a U.S. citizen, you're allowed to run.
Mhm.
What are two rights of everyone living in the United States? So this one you have to name 2.
Two rights.
It goes with the Bill of Rights. So you have, no matter who you are, if you're in the United States, you have freedom of expression, freedom of speech. Let me do it this way. You have freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom to assembly.
I was a little confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freedom to, let's see, what's that one? Freedom to
press, freedom to
government.
press and assembly and
And
worship.
freedom to also the right to bear arms. So even if you're not a citizen, you have all these freedoms. How old do citizens have to be to vote for the president?
18 and older.
How old?
18 and older.
18 and older, yes. I didn't hear you when you said the 18, I'm sorry. What is the supreme law of this land?
The Constitution.
Very good. Constitution. What does the Constitution do?
The law.
Well, it goes a little stronger. So it's either sets up the government,
Mhm.
defines the government, and the last one, protects the basic rights of Americans.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So it sets up the law for the whole country. Okay. What the idea of self-government is in the first three words of the Constitution. What are these words?
I forgot it.
That's it.
Yeah, the teacher told me that the last session, but I
Okay.
forgot. Oh,
We the people.
the people. Yeah.
That's why you keep practicing. Not everybody remembers the first thing, unless I have a photographic. Okay. So name one branch or part of the government.
The Senate, the Supreme Court,
Yes,
something.
that's good. The courts. So the different ones can be Congress or legislative, president or executive, the courts, which is judicial. So any one of those words is a good answer. So you said the courts. What stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful?
I don't know that.
That's okay. It's called either checks and balances or separation of powers. So if you think about it, the legislative means laws. So Congress makes the laws. The executive, the president is the executive. So we use the word execute as he makes the laws happen. And judicial is the courts. And they're the ones that make sure when there's questions about the law, they clarify that or make sure the law is carried out correctly. So that's how they separate the powers. What happened at the Constitutional Convention?
This is from the first one. I didn't remember.
Well, look at the question. It's called Constitutional Convention. So a convention is a big meeting. And
Mhm.
at that meeting, the Constitution was written.
Oh, yeah.
So it has a little bit of a hint. Some of our questions are pretty good on that they give you a little hint.
Mhm.
Okay. Now here's a date you need to know is when was the Constitution written? That's okay.
1971, 18,
Oh,
17.
1787.
87.
Okay, 1787.
1787.
Well, this is one, I mess up one of the words, but.
Mhm.
Okay, the Federalist Papers supported the passage of the U.S. Constitution. You only need to name one of the writers.
Jefferson? I don't know.
No, it wasn't Jefferson for this one.
No.
So the answers are James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, or Publius was what they described all the papers that they had. A lot of people last year remembered Hamilton because of the play.
I need to read more about those.
So you know how like in the newspapers, people will write editorials and different things if they want a law passed? These were their papers to convince the states to pass, to agree to the Constitution for everybody.
Mhm.
And you just need to name one of them, so just have to pick a name that's easy for you to remember. What is the one thing Benjamin Franklin is famous for? He did a lot of different things, but you just need to name one. No problem. So he did a lot of different things. So most people remember him as a U.S. diplomat, and that's the picture of him coming back from France. The oldest, let me make sure, oldest member at the Constitutional Convention. I'm gonna have to read it this way. The first Postmaster General of the United States. He wrote, oops, I'm not showing it to you. He wrote Poor Richard's Almanac. He started the first free libraries. So most people generally remember that he's a diplomat or he was the oldest person at the Constitutional Convention. But he was a very busy man. What is the rule of law? There are a couple different ways you can answer that. Everyone must follow the law. Leaders must obey the law. Government must, what's that last word? Government must obey the law, and no one is above the law. So even the policemen, people in government, they all have to follow the law. What territory did the United States buy from France in 1803? That's okay.
Nope.
There are two answers. It takes a while to learn everything. So there's the Louisiana Territory, or some people just say Louisiana. And here's the picture. This is all the land that they bought. Most of central United States.
Mm-hmm.
We pretty much doubled the country. What did the Declaration of Independence do? This is one where the answer's in the question. Okay, it declared our independence. So the Declaration of Independence, that second one, declared our independence from Great Britain. What are the other two ones? Announced our independence from Great Britain, said that the United States is free. Whoops, there we go. Get this right. It's hard doing this backwards.
Yeah. For you.
And then being recorded. Okay. Okay. What are two rights in the Declaration of Independence? There are three rights that
To
are
read
listed.
it.
So it's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You only need to know two of them. Most people remember life and liberty because they both begin with L.
That one's always confused with the other.
Yeah, and lots of times people confuse that with the Constitution. But always remember the Constitution is like for organizing the law. So it's we the people, we control the law with the voting. And then life and liberty was just things that they were looking for everybody to have as part of living in this country that they weren't finding or didn't feel that they found under the British. Okay, why did the colonists fight the British? There are a couple.
Well, by then the religion was the main thing. They came here, this country, but I don't know exactly.
Yeah, but they didn't really use that since they had there, and Britain really didn't care about that. But the three answers that they had, let me get this right, is because of high taxes. So they were all upset that the British was taxing them, and so they didn't like that. Then they wanted, because the British Army was staying at their homes. So they, instead of building buildings to host the army, the British would come and just take
Oh.
over someone's house and say, "You're hosting my men." And then the last one, because they didn't have self-government. So part of that goes, they were being taxed, but they couldn't decide what the tax was. They were being told by other people. But a lot of people always remember because of high taxes. What is the capital of the United States?
Washington, D.C.
Very good. There we go. And there again, we got the picture of the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Memorial, I think. The Capitol at the very back. Finished.
Mhm.
Okay. This one you should get easy. Name one state that borders Mexico.
Well, Texas and
Yep.
California. Then California.
And then Arizona and New Mexico.
Yeah.
But you need to name one. So that'll be an easy one for you.
Yeah. I'm going to try to learn more about the first question
Okay, no problem.
because I don't have any information here. I'm concentrated on another thing.
Okay, that's fine. And again, it takes a lot of practice. And if you look at the previous papers, the information's in them. So it's kind of like when you study for a test, you go through the book and see the different information. These information packets are your little book that's building to help you understand
Mhm.
the questions. Okay, now this one should be also easy. Name 2 national U.S. holidays.
Well, Thanksgiving, Christmas,
That's
and the
perfect.
Easter.
That's perfect. We've got them down at the bottom here. Thanksgiving. And
We have a
Christmas.
lot. We have a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah.
We have 10 holidays. And then some states have their own holidays. Those are the federal holidays. Who was the first president?
George Washington.
Very good. George Washington. Who is the father of our country?
I don't know.
That is also
The same.
George Washington. Just think he started I don't want to use the word dynasty, but he's the first president. He started what this country did. And a lot of the practices he established are still carried through, or traditions that we still have in this country. Okay. Now this one you should know. What is the name of the president of the United States now?
Donald Trump.
Mhm.
Soon to not be.
Well, in January.
At least until January 20th, he will still be our president. Okay. There were 13 original states. You just need to name 3 of them.
Well, Texas was not, right?
No.
Where's Chewy live?
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I know this doesn't belong to them, baby. This California was part of the Mexico and Texas was in, let me see.
So this was way back
And
in
Ohio, is Ohio? No?
think back way 1776, before the Louisiana.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
everything.
I don't know that.
So, okay, so it's all on the East Coast. You only need to name
Mhm.
3 of them. So there's New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia.
They are included the colonies?
Yeah,
Are they some of the colonies?
yeah, they're all the colonies.
Oh,
But when we fought the revolution, they changed the name from colony to state because we were independent.
okay.
So you just need to name 3 of these. Just think of the East Coast states.
Mhm.
Most of them. Okay. Now this is when you need to say the full date. When was the Declaration of Independence adopted?
I think so the independence was in the 4th of July, but I didn't remember the year.
Okay, no problem. You got 2/3 of the question right. It's July 4th, 1776.
Mhm.
Okay, now here. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence?
Yep.
It was Thomas Jefferson. Okay. You're getting there.
Yeah.
The tricky part is at your interview, you only have to answer 10 questions. Well, there are 10 questions and you have to answer 6 of them right. Just the question is, which of the 10 are they going to?
Yeah.
Let's go over the new
And-
ones, the ones we did today, and we'll sign off for the day.
Can I make a question
Sure.
before you started? Okay. I have all the packages, the questions here from the 4th and the 5th lessons. You gave it to me, but I don't have the rest. The 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd.
Okay.
You don't know where can I get them?
Okay. So when Amelia sends the link, it includes that U.S. citizen site.
Yes.
If you go-
She included to me for the 4th and the 5th, but I don't have for the one. I have the link for the videos only.
Okay, Mike says he'll send it to you, but if you go to that pages, if you just go to the home page, just keep moving up, then you'll be able to see all the things. And you can,
Oh, okay.
if you want to cheat, you can even study ahead of time and know the answers before.
Yeah, maybe I need to take
It's a lot of downloading.
Yeah.
But if you go to
Okay.
the home page, then you can get all the information. We just make it easy just to go to the link for the class each week.
Okay.
Okay, so if you
Thank you.
if you explore on that page, you'll find a lot of information there. Okay, back to our new questions. What group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves?
The African people.
Very good. What was one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did?
The freedom is slavery.
Free the slaves, yes.
All the slaves.
All the slaves. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s.
The Civil War.
Yeah,
Civil War.
that's right. Name one problem that led to the Civil War. In the United States.
I didn't remember.
That's okay. We just did it today. It was slavery, is what most people say, but economic reasons or state rights. You'll hear the 3 of those, but slavery is what most students always remember. Okay. You did very well.
We are learning a lot.
Yeah.
We need to learn a lot.
That's almost 300 years of history.
Yeah, great.
Okay. Any more
Yeah.
questions?
No, I need to get all the questionnaires and practice more for
Yeah.
the next session.
Yeah, but you're doing well. I think you're doing pretty good.
Great, yeah.
Okay, well, if that's the case, we'll sign off. You'll see me next week. Maybe I'll be a little better on doing the backward reading.
No, that's perfect. You made the best. Yeah, thank you for everything.
That's as fancy as I'm gonna get. Okay, well, good luck. Have a great week, and we'll see you on Zoom next week.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you very much.